Hello everyone. I hope so you people are doing well. So welcome to our Professor Academy UGC Net Home Science. And in today's class, we are going to do the previous year questions in the December 2024 cycle. So we are starting with the human development unit. So the questions that were asked from the human development, we are taking those. Okay. So let's begin. So this is our first question, which is based on Eric Erickson's theory of psychosocial development, sequence the virtues to be strengthened from birth to adolescence. The given options are A, purpose, B, fidelity, C, self-control, D, hope, and E is competence. So these are the virtues that we have to arrange them in the form of the sequence of the age. Okay. So let's see what actually virtues are. So this is the theory which was given by Eric Erikson, in which he has given 8 crisis stages or task, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so actually the Eric Erickson's work was the Eric Erikson is said as a neo-Freudian because he did his research on the basis of the theory given by Sigmund Freud. So he is also called neo-Freudian. So he did not believe that our development is still 5 years, as Sigmund Freud says. According to him, he says that the development process is lifelong. So he has given 8 stages in which, like, it's a lifelong journey. Okay, so where the infancy, that is from infancy to 18 months, it is first crisis is trust versus mistrust. So the virtue that he has given is the resolution. Okay, virtue in this theory means the resolution of that stage, the positive thing that you want to get from the crisis stage, whatever you want to call. So for the first crisis, that is trust versus mistrust, the virtue is hope. Then 18 months to 3 years, the crisis is autonomy versus shame and doubt. And the virtue is will. When we talk about 3 to 5 years, the crisis is initiative versus guilt, where like a kid is taking initiation, and if he fails, then it develops a feeling of guilt in him. The virtue that is purpose, like you are doing the things with the purpose, then things will be okay. Then there is 5 to 13 years. The crisis is industry versus inferiority, and industry versus inferiority is like there is a competition between kids in this age group, and they develop a feeling of inferiority, like he's doing well, I'm not doing well, he have such things, I don't have these things. So this competitive kind of a feeling is there. So the virtue that Eric Erikson has given is competence. Then there is 13 to 21 years. The crisis is identity versus role confusion or confusion. This is your teenage. Okay, here it's peak here. You are developing your identity, and if you are not able to develop your identity, it will give you a confusion of your role, like who you are, what you want in your life, and what are your desires, what you want to achieve. So this kind of a confusion will be there. So the virtue is fidelity. Okay, then there is 21 to 39 years. The crisis is intimacy versus isolation. And intimacy means like you are going to get into the relationship, the loving relationship, like a girlfriend, then maybe getting married. So this is your intimacy. Okay. But if you fail to create a loving relationship or get into the commitment with someone, it will create a feeling of isolation, like you're lonely. So the virtue is love. You just need love in this stage. Then there is 40 to 65 years, the crisis is generativity versus stagnation. This means that the individual is a full grown adult and he or she want to, as in, give something to the society, okay, to generate something that is of his own, maybe like uh, uh, giving a kid, like if you have a kids, then you want them to be a good person, good individual. So this is like something you are giving to the society. But if you fail to do that, it will create a feeling of stagnation, like you feel like stuck, I have not done anything for the world, like this kind of a feeling will be there. So the virtue here is care. Then 65 to old age, like till the death actually, the crisis is integrity versus despair. Okay, So integrity will, in the sense of integrity, you will be like in this stage or in this crisis, you will be like, I'm ready to, like, you're not scared of death, like you have done everything, you have achieved everything, and whenever the time will come, I'll go. Like this is your integrity, okay, happy with everything, memories are good, like you're recalling everything, like how you have been in the kids, then you are a child, then you develop as a teen, then all those things, memory, that is your integrity. When we talk about despair here, despair, like Direct Rexon said that now if an individual develop despair in them, he will be scared of what, to die, like, oh, I'm gonna die, I have not done anything, I'm gonna die, this kind of a despair will be there. So the virtue here which develop is wisdom. Wisdom is the same thing. So these are the stages given by Eric Erikson. Coming back to our question, which was asking you to arrange the virtues. So this will be the arrangement. First will be hope, that is trust versus mistrust. Then self-control, like autonomy versus shaming doubt. Then there will be a purpose for initiative versus guilt. Then competence for industry versus inferiority, and fidelity for identity versus role confusion. So the correct answer for this will be, the correct sequence for this will be D, that is hope, E, competence, then C, self-control, then A, purpose, and B, fidelity. Okay, the next question is, name the identity status of an adolescent who has made a commitment without exploring. Okay, so the options are identity foreclosure, B is identity achievement, C is identity diffusion, and D is moratorium. Okay, let's understand what these options are, which theory we are focusing on. So this is the theory of actually James Macrin identity status theory. Here, now he has expanded the work of Eric Erikson. Okay, Eric Erikson expanded the work of Freud. Uh, James has expanded the work of Eric Erikson. Okay, it is somewhat based on the theory that we have just seen. Okay, so he has given these four terms, that is identity foreclosure, identity moratorium, identity diffusion, and identity achievement. Now, what does these mean? When we talk about foreclosure, it is like an individual who is high on commitment towards the new career, new identity, but low on exploring activities. Like he has not explored things. He's not very motivated towards his career. He's like, okay, whatever I get, I'll do that. He's not exploring things, like what are the things he is good in. He's not doing that. What he is doing, like, whatever the opportunity I'll get, I'll do that. This kind of a sense he has. When we talk about identity moratorium, here low commitment, the individual is not committing, doing the commitment to anything, like no new career or identity or anything, but very high level of engagement in exploring. Like you're exploring every new opportunities, but not stucking with any one of them. Okay, you are so, like you are a knowledgeable one, past all the possible options you are trying, but till now you have not committed to anything. You are just like from one place to another, you are just jumping towards the options you have. Then there is identity diffusion, which is low commitment, okay, like not committed, but and low in motivation also, okay. You are not committed to your career also, and you are not even exploring it. You're like, oh, aware of possibilities, let it be, it will happen, what will happen, like no, nothing. Then there is identity achievement. Here you are high on commitment, okay, you are very committed towards your new career, and you are like, okay, I want to achieve good, okay, but you are also high in exploring. You are exploring every possible new career option that can happen with you, okay. So you are committed, but you are also, exploring. You are just, pushing your limits to become a better individual. So uh, taking positive actions towards your goal, that is your identity achievement. Coming back to our question, which was asking about the identity status of adolescent who has not committed to something but without exploring it. So we know that answer is identity foreclosure. Here, individual has committed to career without even going through the period of exploring, not even getting it. He or she has committed to it because of the expectations of parents or something, but no personal discovery. Okay, so, this concept was given by James Macrae's identity status theory, When we talk about identity achievement, commitment after exploring. Identity diffusion is no commitment, no exploring. Okay. And moratorium is exploring without commitment, just exploring, not committing over anything. So the correct answer for this question will be identity focus. Next question is concerning the family welfare program in India, identify the incorrect statements. The given options are A. India is the first country in the world to initiate the family planning program. B. The National Welfare Program is later renamed as the National Family Planning Program. Okay. Okay. Then there is C. Raghunath Dhondo Karve was called as the father of family planning in India. D is the inverted blue triangle symbolized the family welfare program in India. E is the Ministry of Women and Child Development is responsible for implementing family welfare program. So you have to like see the identify the incorrect option. Okay, remember incorrect, which in these five, which one are incorrect. Let's see. Let me give you everything about the family welfare program. So the first statement was India is the first country to initiate a family planning program. Yeah, that is true. India is the world's first nation who introduced the family planning program in 1952. Remember the year. Then the family welfare program was later named as National Family Planning Program. This is incorrect. It was renamed from family planning, okay, to family welfare, not vice versa. Okay. So the thing is, the name was National Family Planning Program. Then it was renamed as National Family Welfare Program. Got it? They have just switch vice versa thing they have done. Then Raghunath Dundekave was called the father of family planning in India. That is right. R.D. Karve is the father of family planning in India. Then there is the inverted blue triangle symbolizes the family welfare program in India, which is incorrect. That is not entirely correct. It is not symbolizing the family welfare program. The last option is the ministry. So the correct ministry, that is also wrong. It's not Ministry of Women and Child Development. The ministry that is responsible for family welfare program is Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So this was also wrong. So we have B, D, E as wrong. So we'll simply eliminate A and C because they are correct, and we'll get our correct answer. This is wrong actually. Wait, this option is given wrong. Let me change it for you people. Just a moment. A is the right answer. Okay. A is the right answer. So next question is match the list 1 with list 2. That is list 1 is parenting style and list 2 has a characteristics. So in list 1, we have authoritative, indulgent, neglectful, authoritarian. And the characteristics are given as low in control, rejective parent center, controlling, accepting, child centered, controlling, rejective, parent centered, and then there is low in control, acceptive, and child centered. So you have to match it. Okay. So let's understand these four types of parenting style. When we talk about authoritative parents, they balanced rules and warmth. Okay. They have balancing of everything. There will be rules, but there will be love, care, support towards the kids. Okay. They explain reasons behind decisions, like what they are doing and why they are doing. They explain everything to their kids. It's not like the kid is like a fully clueless and he has to simply follow the rules. In authoritative, it's not like that. And they also encourage independence with the guidance. Then there is authoritarian type of parenting. Here, strict rules with a little flexibility is given. Expect obedience, no question, no explanation, just you need to follow the rules. Okay. And use punishment rather than discussion. They'll punish you if you'll ask any question. They'll not discuss about it. Then there is permissive kind of a parenting. Here, few rules or expectations are there and rarely enforce consequences. Like kids are free. do whatever you want to do. This is your permissive. And a parent act like a friend, then a parent. Being a parent means you have to be a parent also. You cannot always be a friend. So there are no rules, nothing in permissive. Whatever kid want, he'll get it. Then there is neglectful here. They provide no or very little supervision or support to the kids, very less emotional engagement with the kid, and unaware about the child's activity, what a children is doing, what they are up to. Nothing. Neglectful. They like, you have born and you have to live your life. I'm living my life. Parents are not at all involved in the upbringing of a child. That is a neglectful parenting style. These four kind of a parenting style were given by Dana Bemrin. So remember that. So I have taught you this in class. Okay. So if you talk about the matching, so authoritative will be matched with the controlling, acceptive, child-centered. Okay. Okay. Then there is indulgent. That will be low in control, acceptive, child-centered. There will be low in control. Okay. Then indulgent is also permissive. Okay. Indulgent and permissive is the same thing. Then there is C, neglectful, that is low in control, rejective, parent-centered. Then there is authoritarian, which is controlling, rejecting, and parent-centered. So this will be your right sequence. This will be authoritative will be controlling, acceptive, child-centered, indulgent, low control, acceptive, child-centered, neglectful, low in control, rejective, parent-centered, and authoritative will be controlling, rejective, parent-centered. Next question is, identify the pitfall of professionals working with child abuse and neglect. A is collaboration. B is contribution actually. C is collusion. D is compassion. And E is condemnation. The given options are, you have to find the pitfall. Okay. C and E only. D, B and D only. A and C only. D and E only. Okay. Let's understand. When we talk about collaboration is not a pitfall, it's a strength. Okay. You collaborate with agencies like social worker, law enforcement, healthcare provider to encourage the, you know, uh, to help people who are suffering from abuse. Okay. Then there is contribution. It is like experienced by abuser or even professionals, like they have experienced something that in that sense. Okay. It's not considered as a professional pitfall. Then there is collusion is said to be a pitfall because unintentionally or even intentionally cooperating with the abuser, that is wrong. You cannot cooperate with the abuser. Okay. By believing their justification or minimizing the harm, anything like you believe in the abuser. Okay. This is a serious ethical issue. Then there is compassion. It's not a pitfall. It's necessary for child welfare worker. Okay, you need to be compassionate with people. Then there's condemnation, which is a pitfall, which means professional must remain non-judgmental. Okay, must, you cannot judge people. Like, okay, what is right, what is wrong. Contributing a parent guardian may harm the trust and hinder the intervention. So you cannot do that. Okay, so there are two pitfalls, that is C and E. Okay. Next question is, name the term that refer to a cultural prescribed expression of a brewed person's thought and feelings. So A is bereavement, B is grief, C is mourning, and D is influenced grief. Okay. So let's understand these options. When you talk about bereavement, it is a state of having lost someone through the death. Okay, you are like, you have lost someone who has died. Okay? Then there is grief. Grief is personal or internal emotional response to the loss, any kind of a loss. It can be breakup or losing some of your close friends, and not as in concept of death, like they are not the part of your life now. That's kind of. Then there is C, which is mourning. Mourning is public outward expression of your grief, like you are just crying, like wearing black or participating in the funeral, like cultural norm and rituals that we do. That is the one. Then there is D, which is disinfluenced grief. Eh, grief which is not acknowledged or supported by the society. That this is the meaning of this term, okay, which is not acknowledged, like, oh, why you are crying about it, like these things are not acknowledged. That is your disinfluenced grief. Okay, so the correct answer will be cultural. They are asking about cultural. Okay, the question says cultural expression of your feelings, okay, thoughts, that things that have been happening. So if we are talking about cultural, it means it is C, mourning. Not just mourning. Okay. Next question. Identify the human development theory that have supported discontinuous development. Okay, discontinuous development. Let's understand what actually discontinuous means. I'll give you the knowledge about it. The given options are A, information processing theory of cognitive development, B, Kohlberg theory of moral development, Eric Erikson theory of psychosocial development, Vygotsky's theory of socio-culture development, Piaget's theory of cognitive development. So, when we talk about discontinuous development, we are talking about the stages in the theories. If they have given stages, that means they are saying that it's a discontinuous process. Okay. So when we talk about first option, that is information processing theory of cognitive development, that is a continuous development. Like continuously person is developing. Like comparing human thinking to computer, how we take in, store, and retrieve information. The point here is, the developmental point is, like gradually in a very continuous way we improve our mental processing, like attention, memory, problem solving, that way. Okay, this is not discontinuous. There are no stages. When there is a stages, that means discontinuous. This is the key term. Okay, this is how you're going to approach it. If there are no stages, it means they're asking about a continuous process. Change happens slowly over time, not in a. When we talk about B option, that is Kohlberg's theory of moral development, it's a discontinuous development. Why? It is the theory is explaining how children and adults develop their moral reasoning. So Kohlberg has given three main levels and stages. Like in every level, there is two sub stage of it. So it makes it 6 stages. We'll see this stage in the coming question. They have asked a question from that also. So it's pre-conventional, conventional, post-conventional are these 3 levels. Okay. So each stage represent a qualitative shift in a moral thing. Okay, there is a shift happening. So this is discontinuous. Okay, a person moves from one stage to next clearly defined stage without blending it. There is no blending, like clearly shifting from one to another. Okay, that is discontinuous. Then there is Eric Erickson's theory of psychosocial development. This is also discontinuous because it has 8 stages, okay, which is from infancy to old age. Each stage involves a specific psychosocial conflict like trust versus mistrust, identity versus role confusion that we have seen in our first question only. So to grow, a person must resolve each stage challenge. Okay, so if we go through the set of stages to get the outcome of it. Okay. Then there is Vygotsky's theory of socioculture. That is a continuous process because he has not given any stages. Okay. He has given the zone of proximal development that we call ZPD. He's saying that when an individual, like a more knowledgeable person, helps the child, he actually grow in a very better form. Like he learns his cognitive development is in a very better form. Okay. Child gradually acquire their skill through guiding learning. Okay. So he says that learning is a steady process, not broken into stages. Then Piaget's theory of cognitive development is also discontinuous development. He says that children think in a very different way at very different stages. So he proposed 4 stages of thinking. He has given sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, formal operational stages. Each stage reflects the qualitative different way of understanding the world. So like you cannot escape any stage. You will go through this stage. So this is a like each one is different from the last one. So this is a discontinuous. Okay. So the answer will be, now we know that any theory who has given the stages will be the discontinuous. So we know that Kohlberg has a stage, Eric Erikson has a stage, and Jean Piaget has a stage. That means BCE only is our right answer. Next question. Arrange the steps of conflict process. The given options are A. Handling conflict handling intention, example, avoiding, accommodating, compromising, etc. B. Cognition of perceived or self conflict. C. Increased or decreased performance. D. Potential opposition or incompatibility due to the communication or other person's values. E. Overt conflict manifested in parties' behavior and other reactions. So you have to arrange these steps. Let's see what are the conflict process steps. So the first one will be the potential opposition or incompatibility. This is the first stage. This is a groundwork of conflict which laid due to the factor like poor communication between people, difference in goals, values, and personality clashes. Then the second stage is cognition of perceived or felt conflict. At this point, like individual recognize that conflict exists, there is some issue, and we need to we need to call it out. Okay, this could be perceived like mentally acknowledged and felt as an emotionally involved. The individual is not very much involved emotionally with you, so you know that there is something fishy. Okay, then there is a conflict handling intention, like how the parties decided to respond, okay, through avoiding, maybe accommodating, competing, collaborating, or compromising. How you are approaching towards your conflict, that will be your handling. Okay. Then the fourth one will be overt conflict, like conflict become visible through actions, behavior, and communication. Like others may also notice it, like something is wrong. Okay. Then there is C, increase and decreased performance, like outcome of the conflict. It may lead to better resolution, like positive performance, or worst, the relationship and productivity, that is your negative performance. So the correct sequencing will be D, B, A, E, C. Okay. Next question is characteristics of self-actualization are. Self-actualization means they are talking about Maslow's hierarchy theory. Okay. So they are asking what are the characteristics of self-actualized person. So see how they have reframed the question, like make it a bit tough. The options are clear perception of reality. B is competitiveness. C is social disinterested. D is creative and original. E is resistance to social pressure. Okay, so you need to know what are the characteristics of self-actualization. Let's see what these options means. When we're talking about clear perception of reality, this is a self-actualized individual who sees the things like how they are, like without any denial or fear, like this is the truth, this is the thing. Okay, they are objective, rational, and realistic people, like they understand themselves and the world. For example, they are less likely to deceived by the lies, biasness, or stereotypes. Okay, then there is, so this is the part of, this is the characteristic of self-actualization. When we talk about competitiveness, self-actualized person does not feel competitive. Okay, there is in them, there is no desire to become a better one. Okay, they are enough, they don't need a social approvals. They're like okay, they are okay with themselves. They does not force themselves or compare themselves with others. They are motivated by growth, not by defeating others. Okay, they are secure in their self-worth, very secure. Okay, so competitiveness, no, there is no place in self-actualized person. When we talk about D, it is social disinterested. It is like lacking interest in others or society. Okay, disinterested. So strong sense of compassion and concern about humanity. Okay, this is also a part of self-actualized person, to show interest in empathy and desire to help society, to accomplish a greater, for the greater cause. They're like, okay, not bothering by what society is saying. Okay, then D is creative and organized, naturally innovative, think independently, and have fresh ideas. So creative is not always artistic. It can also show a problem solving, communication of life, living life in a unique way, kind of a thing. So this is actually a part of self expression. Okay, you're not imitating anyone, you're being yourself, original. Okay, so ADE, which means clear perception of reality, creative and original, and resistance to social pressure will be the part of self-actualization. Like you're not very or very like social pressure also you don't like you're enough by yourself. So there is no space for competitiveness and social interest in self-actualized person. Okay, then we have next question, kind of similar to the previous one. Select the factor that are responsible for increasing self-awareness in an individual. A, joining an online course to improve qualification. They are getting aware about themselves. Okay, here, keep that in your mind. Then listening to the feedback given by others, seeking information about self and others, doing physical exercise every day, visualizing how one is seen by other, like how I am seen by the others. Okay. So the given options are A, C, D only, B, D, E only, D, B, C, D only, B, C, E only. Options are repeated in this question. So A is joining a online course is like learning any external knowledge, okay, improving your own self, not necessarily about self-awareness. Self-awareness, it's like a self-development, okay. Then listening to the feedback given by others, becoming aware about how others see. So you actively listen about okay, what my friends are saying, what my colleagues are saying, what my mentor is saying. So learn how behavior, attitude, and communication may affect others. So feedback help you to recognize the blind part of your personality and foster growth and accurate self-perception. Then there is C, seeking information about self from others, asking for honest insight, okay, beyond passive listening, actively asking others for their thoughts about strength, weakness, and patterns. Okay, and then for example, like how I can come across in a group discussion, okay, this kind of thing. So direct tool for developing insight into how to behave. Then there is D, doing physical exercise every day. It's improved your mental clarity, social, emotional balance, and it's a physical activity, not directly about self-reflection, like not about self-awareness. Okay, it actually support your overall well-being, but not aligning with the question which was asking about the self-awareness. So no exercise will also be not the part of it. Then there is A, visualizing how one see others. That is your internal reflection, like you perceive things. Okay, after receiving and seeking the feedback, self-aware about the individual. So you think like, if I were in their place, how would I see myself? You enhance your empathy, okay, objectivity, metacognition, thinking about one's own thinking, what I'll do. These kind of questions build a mental model of how actions are perceived, even in the absence of your feedback. You see it, you just judge your things, like what I'm doing, how I am doing, should I do it, this is wrong, this is not the person I am. These things you ask yourself. So the correct answer will be B, C, E. That is listening the feedback. Then C, seeking information about self and others. Then visualizing how one sees others. That will be the self-awareness. So this is it for the human development. Thank you so much. I hope you will enjoy the PYQ, and it has given you an insight of some knowledge. All the very best for your exams, and you know everything, so don't be scared about it. Okay? Everything is gonna be okay. All the very best.